Well, greetings. Robert Locke here, and we appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us today. We're talking through the myths, dismantling the myths of property management, things that property managers really believe to be true, but when you unpack them and examine them closely, maybe they're not. So we are on myth number 14, and this myth reads something like this. If my volume of business generates a discount price from my vendors, I should pass it on to my clients, right? In other words, for the first 10 years of our business, if we got rekeying done for $120 instead of $180, we would pass that discount on to the owner. There are many people in the management business today that say the volume of business that I do with this painter, I can get him to discount his price 20 or 30% because I'm giving him 3 or 4 paint jobs a month. And there are some managers who say, I am responsible to, or at least I believe I should, pass that discount on to the owner. And a lot of us don't believe that because this is a thin margin, nickel dime service business, and we should be taking those discounts and passing them on to somebody else. So stay with us. We're going to take about a 5-second break and kind of peel this back and see what's really true and not true about this myth. Okay, we're back now, and thank you for taking that for staying with us. The question is, if my business generates a volume discount, I should give it back to the owner. So let's kind of talk through this. Here's a truth we all know is true, that volume warrants a lower price. If I buy 300 signs for my business, I'll get a different price from the vendor than if I buy 3 signs. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to think that when we go into a store to buy 20 gift baskets for Christmas party for our staff, I get a different price than if I buy 1 basket. So it's just kind of a broadly understood truth that the bigger the volume you do, the lower price per unit you get. So we're going to start there and kind of unpack this as it relates to vendors and discounts that we get from vendors. Here we go. Okay. So let's take example number 1. Plumbers have one price for the public and another price for builders. If I'm a plumber and you ask me to come and replace the hot water heater in your house, I'll give you a price for it. I don't know, maybe that's $1,400, whatever it is. If a builder comes to me and says, I'm building out a 100-unit subdivision, we've got our funding, we're going to do 8 starts a month, and I want you to install 8 hot water heaters a month. And I'll pay you quickly, and I'll guarantee you the work, and you got a year's worth of work. The price I give that builder is very different than the price that I give you for coming over to your house. Likewise, here's another example. A locksmith charges one price for a single home and another price for 5 homes a month. When we started out in the business and we were doing 1 or 2 move-ins a month, we had the house rekeyed before the tenant moved in, and we would pay the locksmith to do that. For him, that was just 1 or 2 jobs a month. It was no big deal. But longer in the business, when we were managing 600 and 800 and 1,000, there were months in our good times when we were moving in 40, 50 people a month. We had a high point of 60 people a month. So we go to our locksmith and say, if we give you 5 a month, what's the price? And if we give you 20 or 30 or 40 a month, what's the price? And what we obviously discovered is the truth that higher volume brings lower price. We were able to get locksmithing done for maybe 100 or 120 when the retail price was 200 or 225. And the question is, who gets that spread? And that's kind of what we're trying to examine here, because the question is, who gets the discount? Now, let's look at some options as to who gets that discount. Number 1, you can say to the vendor, I'm going to give you 10 rekeys a month, and whatever you charge me retail price. All that profit goes to your family. You take care of your kids and your mortgage payment and your overhead. We just want you to charge us retail prices. So one option is let the vendor have it. Okay? Another option is let the owner have it. In other words, you can say, Mr. Owner, you should be really happy with me and very loyal to me, because instead of getting $160 for a rekey, I can get it done for $100. Now, I was naive enough to believe that over the years that owners really appreciated that, and that it brought loyalty, and that they would list and sell the house for me, with me in the end. I'm pretty disappointed over the years that that didn't happen. It was a little naive on my part, maybe naive on your part if you think that telling the owner what great prices you got in some way builds real loyalty. Now, you may believe that. If you do, pass it on to the owner. It's okay. Okay? The other option is your family. Now, it's not your company. Think about it more personally. If you can get rekeying done for $100 instead of $180, the question is, does that money go to your family? Does it go to the vendor's family? Does it go to the owner's family? And some people would argue the owner is a wealthy real estate baron. He owns more houses than he can occupy. Whether he's upside down in the mortgage is his issue. I shouldn't be passing all these discounts on to the owner. But that's the decision that you should make, and then maybe there's another way of doing it. So the question is, who should get the discount? But you know, that's not really the question. Let's step back further and ask, who created the discount? Because the one who created the discount probably has a good argument for benefiting from that discount. So let's talk about that. If you've got some owners, individual owners that own individual houses, and they have one rekey every 2 or 3 years, or one paint job every 3 to 5 years, I'm not sure they're creating very much value or very much volume discount. Okay? If you are managing 200 or 300 houses, because of the volume you're creating, maybe the vendor discount should go to you. So the argument would be, Mr. Owner, your one house is not creating any volume of business whatsoever through me. But my volume, the 200, 300, 500 houses that I manage, is creating a huge volume for painters and plumbers and electricians and gutter cleaning and landscaping and rekeying, all these different services. Since you're creating it, maybe you should be getting that discount. Maybe you should be benefiting from that discount. So the myth then goes like this. Now I'm going to read it differently because it makes a difference. If my volume discount or volume business generates a discount price from the vendors, I should pass it on to my clients, right? Well, somehow that doesn't seem right, does it? When you sit down and kind of slice it and dice it up, it doesn't seem right that it's my volume discount or my volume of business that generated the discount. Why should it go to the owner? The real question, though, that we had to wrestle with for years is, how do I trap that discount? In other words, what is the method, what are the mechanisms to get a rekey done for 120 and charge the owner 160 and make the spread? And over the years, we've done 4 or 5 different ways. And on our website, we have a section where we talk about cashing in on property management, and there's several categories. We have cashing in for owners, cashing in for tenants, for vendors, and the question is, how do you trap the spread? How do you trap the discount? If your company created the discount, shouldn't you get the benefit of it? And so that's what our training is. That's what we want to load up on our site over the next 6 months. We're not there yet. It's more time consuming than we thought. But under this resource, Cashing In on Property Management, you can find a section there called Cashing In on Maintenance. And we will put up training videos and packages and contract language and forms and all kinds of ideas for you to benefit on the discount that is created by your volume. Or if not, pass it over to the owner. Well, thank you. We appreciate the time you spend with us. Stay with us on our website. Make sure you register, or better, subscribe, because you get packages every week and big discounts on everything on our site. Thanks for hanging out with us today.